Okay. Good day. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Lux Power online training. I'm your host, Jay, today. And today we will going to do a product introduction of GN2. And I will record today's meeting and we will upload it to our YouTube channels. And you can also ask for your contact sales for this video and the training contents. Okay. So let's begin today's training. Today's training topic is GEN2 product introduction. So we are excited to bring this new GEN2 326 kilowatt series with brand new design and enhanced features. And there are 5 contents in today's introduction. So firstly, we will go through the product overview, product superiority, technical details, working mode introduction, and a summary for today's training. So during this training, if you have any questions, you can send it to the meeting chat, and I will review that and answer them at the end of the training. Also, we will have a Q&A at the end of the training. Then you can turn on your microphone. Okay, so first part is the product overview. And GN2, let's look at the name of this series. GN2-LB, low voltage battery and EU version, 3 to 6 kilowatt. So it is a single-phase hybrid energy storage inverter. So with the product definition, single phase means one inverter can only deal with single phase AC input and output. Energy storage means that it is compatible with both lead acid and lithium-ion batteries. And in the DC side, it can store the DC power generated by solar panels into batteries and convert DC power from PV and batteries into AC power. And it can feed the energy into the grid or providing off-grid output to the household. And as a hybrid system, it is able to convert energy between the solar power, the battery, and the grid at the same time and supply loads in an efficient way. Okay. And as our latest product, it is developed from our first product, LXP, then GN, and now GN2. So with the brand new exterior design, it is more lightweighted, like 4 kilogram less than the GN series, and with a junction box for quieter operation and improved and easier installation and maintenance. Also, we have some enhanced data. For example, the rated GN input current is from 26 ampere to 40 amperes. Rated GN input power is from 6 kilowatt to 9.2 kilowatt. And our switching time is upgraded from 20 milliseconds to 7 milliseconds. Also, we have done a newly designed heat dissipation systems for quiet operation and improved reliabilities. Okay. And this inverter is suitable for European, Middle East, Africa, and Asian markets, or anywhere where they using the single phase AC utilities. And as our application scenarios, GN2 is suitable for the following system and applications. The first one is the solar and battery storage system. With solar panels and batteries installed, it can supply loads to the UPS port or the loads on grid. The second one, with an AC coupling or with an existed solar system, and it is connected to the GEN port of the inverter. The third application is on-grid solar system without battery, so the whole system can run without the batteries, like the string inverters. And the fourth application is off-grid and the backup applications. So in this case, there is no grid connected. Also, if the customer have a larger power demand, we can also support single and three-phase parallel system. And we also support a generator connecting to the system for off-grid applications. And with this diversity, it can be put into application scenarios like residential energy storage, parallel system for large power needs, off-grid and remote areas, and integrated solar storage and EV charging applications. Okay, that's all for the first part. I believe you have the basis of the product, what it is, what is the difference between GEN and GEN2, and what can it do. So now let's take a look at the product highlights. Firstly is the parallel units. GN2 supports 10 units parallel for both on-grid and off-grid systems. The maximum AC output is up to 6 kilowatts, and will support both single and three-phase parallel systems. And the 10 parallel units is for both on-grid and off-grid system. Second, with our advanced MPPT algorithm, we are assure you 99.9% MPPT efficiency, and we have the first tier PV features. For example, two independent MPPT with 9.6 kilowatt maximum PV input and 18 ampere PV input per MPPT. And short circuit current is up to 32 amperes for each MPPT. It gives us a variety choice of the solar panels. And with IP rating 6.6, operating temperature from -25 to 6 Celsius degree, 2,000 meter altitude, and less than 50 decibel noise emission, GN2 can be installed in most environments. And we also provide our customer with a LuxCloud monitoring system. It is a real-time monitoring system where you can not only view the inverter status, energy data, but also set up your plant and inverters remotely anywhere through the cloud server. And currently, our service covers most continents. It is an easy operation platform, and we provide remote upgrade and maintenance service for both inverter and batteries. So each time we have a new function, or feature released, and the customer can upgrade their inverter at home easily. In addition, the platform is powered by our LuxBot AI. Currently, we have implemented applications like solar panels calculator, inverter, and battery sizing calculator for installation, and dynamics, tariffs, and weather-optimized charging strategies, and LuxBot for troubleshooting. So if you have any questions regarding how to use this inverter or you have some problems, you can also ask the LuxBot. Okay, after the highlights of the GN2, let's take a closer look at the technical details of it. Firstly, the ports and the terminals of GN2. As you can see, we have one pair of battery ports for 48 DC lithium or lead acid battery, and a communication port for parallel connection, battery communication, meters, CTs, and dry contacts ports. A PV switch to turn on or off the PV DC input, and two MPPTs with maximum 9.6 kilowatt input power. A separate GEN port for generator, smart load, and AC couple function. A EPS load port with less than 7 milliseconds switching time, and grid, a grid port. Also, the Wi-Fi dongle port is currently we support we have a new 有声音 Okay. Sorry about earlier that there is some internet issues that the my speech is not constant with the presentation. So let's go back to this to the previous pages for our the IP rating. This page. So our IP rating is 66 with an operating temperature is minus 25 to 6 Celsius degree, 2000 meter altitude, and less than 50 decibel noise emission. And so GN2 can be installed in most environments. Okay, so the next page is our LuxCloud monitoring system. So it is we provide the customer with the LuxCloud monitoring system, a real-time monitoring system where you can not only view the inverter status, also the energy data, but also set up your plant or inverter remotely anywhere through the cloud server. Currently, our service is covers most area of it's a worldwide online service. So you can operate your inverters even remotely. And it's an easy operation platform. We provide our customer with remote upgrade maintenance service for both inverter and batteries. So each time we have a new function and features released, the customer can upgrade their inverters at home easily. In addition, the platform is powered by LuxBot AI. Currently, we have implemented applications like solar panels calculator, inverter, and battery sizing calculator for installation, and dynamics, tariffs, and weather-optimized charging strategies for LuxBot and a LuxBot for troubleshooting. So you can, if you have If you have any questions regarding the usage of the platform or any question of the inverters, you can ask our LuxBot. Okay, so after all the highlights of GEN2, let's take a closer look at its technical details. Firstly is the ports and the terminals of GEN2. As a battery, we have a battery port for 48 volt DC for lithium and lead acid batteries. Communication ports for parallel connection, battery connection, meters, and CT connection and also dry contact ports for the automatic start of the generator. PV switch to turn on or off the PV input. Two MPPTs with maximum 9.6 kilowatts solar input powers, and separate GEN ports for multiple function, generator connection, smart load, or AC couple function. EPS load port with 7 milliseconds switching time, a grid port, and our Wi-Fi dongle connection port. So and we will publish our new 5G hertz dongles. It will come in soon. It supports both 2.4 and 5G hertz frequency band and support up to Wi-Fi 6 protocols. And we have upgraded our cooling modules with two cooling fans. And the noise emission will be lower and the cooling ability will be stronger than the GN series. And the next part is the wiring diagram of a common application. As you can see, on the DC side, it connects both PV and battery. On AC side, there is an EPS load, normal loads connecting to the grid and connecting to the grid. And this inverter will supply power to it on grid and off grid to the APS loads. And the normal loads and the normal loads on the grid side will only be powered when when the grid is available. So and when CT is is installed on the grid side for example grid cell or their export control, and the GEN port is connecting to a generator. And if your generator have a automatic start function, you can also connect in the dry contacts of the GEN2, and it will start the generator automatically. And also we have some, for example, we have some suggesting the breakers data you can view them on our user menus. And one thing to address that is the main breaker only specifies the grid breakers here. It is 63 amperes and 230 volt AC because the normal loads because the specifications of the breaker on the grid side and on the grid side and on the load side, the size of it should be depends on the normal loads. So it is usually larger than 63 amperes. Okay. And let's take a look at the specifications of GEN2. As you can see, GEN2 have 6 different models with different rated power for different needs. From 3 kilowatt, 3.6 kilowatt, 4 kilowatt, 4.6 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt, and 6 kilowatt. So their difference of they have different rated AC output power and rated output power on EPS. Also, different maximum charging and discharging power. All of this is the same with the name of the module, and they have different PV input power from 6.6 kilowatt to 7 kilowatt to 9 kilowatt to 9.6 kilowatt. So let's take GN2 6 kilowatt for example. The 6K have 9.6 maximum PV input power, and the other PV specifications are the same: 2 MPPT, 100 startup voltage, and 530 maximum input voltage. MPPT voltage range is from 150 to 425 voltage, and maximum PV input current 18 amperes per MPPT and 32 amperes per MPPT for the short circuit current. So when you look at the specifications of the input PV, you should also combine them with the specifications of the solar panels. For example, 9.6 kilowatt. So as you can see, it is 600 watts more than the 4.6. So normally one solar panels usually have a few hundreds of maximum power. So which means you can install like usually one or two more panels than the 4.6 kilowatt. And also choose your solar panels like for example maximum power current IMP, maximum power voltage VMP, and open circuit voltage VOC, and the short circuit current ISC. You should combine all of these and considering the environment temperature to choose your panels carefully. Okay, so on the battery side, we support both lead acid and lithium-ion batteries with communication protocols of CAN, and RS485. And the GN2 is a low battery compatible, so the rated battery voltage is 48 watts, and the maximum charging current is 125. Maximum discharging current is 140. We also support PV wake up battery function, so you don't need to manually wake up the batteries. And on the grid side, as a normal 230 volts, 50 or 60 hertz, our maximum AC input power is 12 kilowatts with adjustable power factors from 0.8 leading to 0.8 lagging. And our maximum continuous AC passes through current is 52.2 amperes. On the generator pole side, we have rated input current 40 amperes and the rated generator input power 9.2 kilowatts. And the UPS port, which is the load port, the rated output power is 6 kilowatt as the name of the Gen2. 230 voltage, 26 amperes, and 50 or 60 hertz. The surging power is two times of the rated power, and it will last 0.5 seconds, which means for GN to 6 kilowatt, it is 12 kilowatt for 0.5 seconds. And the switching time is 7 milliseconds, which means when it's switching between on-grid to off-grid or off-grid to on-grid, the switching time is less than 7 milliseconds. And let's look at the parts where all the models are the same. For example, the efficiencies. So we are assure you the MPPT efficiency is 99.9%, and the maximum efficiency 97.3%. Maximum charging and discharging efficiency 94.5%. And with all the protections included, we assure you a safe operation and a longer lifespan. And as a general specifications, the 25 kilowatts, which is 4 kilowatts lighter than the GEN series, IP rating IP66, and for the operating temperatures, storage temperatures range, and the relative humidities. Our display is we have equipped with LCD displays for quick setups, and also a Wi-Fi connections for remote monitoring. And we offer you a 5-year standard warranty, and which can be extended to 10 years. Okay, so that's all for the specifications. If you have any questions, now you can send them in the chat of the meeting, or you can write it down and ask me at the end of the meeting. And now let's see a comparison of GN2 to the other inverters in the market. Firstly is our maximum PV input power, 9.6 kilowatt. As you can see, it is a tier 1 PV input power. And as you can see, different companies, they have different PV input range and MPPT range. Sorry, wait a minute. Okay. And for the maximum PV input current, 18 amperes and 23 short circuit amperes per string. As you can see, we have the largest short circuit current, and the maximum PV input current is second only to the Growatts SPM series. And we have the I can see it is a tier 1 maximum charging and discharging current, which can assure you a faster charging time. Also, we have the largest AC input power, 12 kilowatts, and the maximum continuous AC passes through current, 52.2 amperes. Rated generator input power is 9.2 kilowatt, which is also the largest, and the tier 1 IP rating IP66. And our maximum parallel units is 10, which is second only to the DE series. Okay, and as I mentioned before, we have talked a lot about the GEN ports. So let's go through the details of the GEN ports. So our GEN2 is equipped with one GEN port. It can be used to connect a generator, of course, and we provide the dry contact ports for the generator auto start function. So GEN2 supports the generator to start according to the battery SOC of voltage or time. So you can change the settings on the LCD or in the monitoring system to start the generator like only during a specific time and only when the battery SOC or voltage is lower than the set values. And if you don't have a generator, GN2 can also provide you other options. For example, the AC couple function. So AC coupling, if you have, what it means is that if you have an solar system installed already installed and solar system on site, but you don't have an energy storage system. So in this case, for example, string inverters or micro inverter. So you can connect its AC output instead of to the grid, but to our GEN port of our GEN2. So and enable the AC couple function. So by doing so, we have upgrade your system, the existing on grid solar system, upgrade it with the energy storage systems. So which can give you the like much more options of the energy management. So because like originally the string inverter can only feed energy to the grid and take the grid side loads. And the AC couple system can utilize the energy of the string inverters to take the UPS load or to charge the batteries. So you don't have to replace your on-site solar system. And by adding a GN2 and the batteries is like a 1+1, like larger than 2 options uh, for you. And for those customers who don't have either generators nor the solar system installed, we still have one more options for you. The smart load. So, yes, our GM ports is not only an AC input port, but also an output port. So once you enable the smart load function, the GM port can be used as a second load port. So, and GN2 will supply the loads to it only when there is, like for example, sufficient solar energy or the battery SOC is at a high level. So since it won't supply the power to the port all the time, so we usually connect the loads like water heaters to the smart load as a way to consume the extra energy produced by the solar. Okay, so that's all for the GEM ports. Let's move to the next part, the batteries. So batteries is an important part of the whole system because we are energy storage systems. So GN2 is compatible with multiple low voltage battery brands. You can check the whole compatible list from our website. And we support both CAN and RS485 communication protocols. And with advanced topology design, we assure you the charging and discharging efficiency at a high level. Okay, so we have been through the technical details of GN2. Now there is one more part. We couldn't miss the working mode. So firstly, let's to take a look at these pictures. So it's an example of one of our working mode. So in some areas, the electricity bill is vary from time. So for example, high at the daytime and low at midnight. So as you can see, the battery is discharging at the daytime, for example, at the daytime or the peak demands in the morning, and charging with grid power during the midnight. As you can see there, it's discharged, and in the morning it is fully charged. So this is so it's a more advanced strategies to deal with the electricity bill policies. For example, when in the daytime the price is high, our battery will discharge to compensate the loads, so to cut down the electricity bills. And during the night, when the price is lower, we will use the utility to charge our batteries to ready for like for the mornings. Okay, so let's look at the what GN can do with different working modes. Because this is just one example of one working mode. Okay, firstly, self-consumption. So as our first working mode, it is the most commonly used mode, and it is also the default working modes. If you don't enable any other working modes, it will run in the self-consumption mode. And why? So why we choosing self-consumption modes as a default mode? So firstly, let's take a look at the power consumption orders in this mode. So solar energy, battery, and the utility grid. So which means that if we have for example, a 6 kilowatt load needs at the UPS port, and the GN2 will sorry, I can write it here. 6 kilowatts at the UPS. So, and if we have for example, a 4 kilowatts solar production, it will use to supply the loads first, and we still need another 2 kilowatts. So in this case, the battery will discharge another 2 kilowatts to supply the loads. But if the battery is low, then we will use the utility for the to supply the other 2 kilowatts. So that's the definition of the load consumption orders. And in another way, for example, if we have more than 6 kilowatts solar production, for example, eight kilowatts PV production, which is more than 6 kilowatts. So in this case, the other 2 kilowatts, because the 6 kilowatt will go first to supply the loads. So the other 2 kilowatts will be used to charge the batteries first. And then if the battery is fully charged, then the 2 kilowatt can be sold to the utility grid or to the grid side loads. So after all these examples, the consumption mode it is the optimal options for the solar energy utilizations. So it will utilize the solar energy is the most in the most economy way, and it's the best option to save the electricity bills if you have for example, 80 typically used in scenarios with a fixed electricity price, or your price is charged depends on the total energy consumptions by now. So, and then the self-consumption is your first choice. Okay, and we have provide 5 more working modes on the top of the self-consumptions to deal with like other situations. For example, let's move to the next one. Battery backup. So the battery backup is uh, you may notice that for example, the power consumption order is different from the self-consumption. It is changed from solar battery utility to solar utility battery. So, which means in this case, the battery won't discharge when there is grid. So the load will be powered by the solar energy and and then the grid power. And it will only when there is a power outage, then the battery will start to discharge. So it is more suitable for areas with like unstable grid powers. So in this case, with a 24-hour battery backup using the solar or using solar or grid power to charge the batteries, we can assure you the fully charged batteries, and you can we can make sure your home is always powered even when there is no grid. And the next mode, peak shaving. So let's take a look at the picture first. So in some countries, the electricity bills is like can be charged more if you demand more powers, uh, and charge less if you demand less power. For example, because the unit is kilowatt instead of kilowatt hour. So the price is higher. For example, let's take 5 kilowatt. For example, the price is lower at 5 kilowatt and higher at 10 kilowatt. So in this case, uh, uh, I just write it. For example, let's set a 5 kilowatts at a low price. So when we enable the peak shaving function, we set a peak shaving power at 5 kilowatts, and then but there is some time, for example, your actual power demand is larger than 5 kilowatt, for example, 6 kilowatt. So, but we don't want to import 6 kilowatt from the utility because it's much like, for example, much expensive than 5 kilowatt. So when we enable the peak shaving mode and set a 5 kilowatt peak shaving power, and then when the actual load needs is 5 kilowatt, the battery will discharge 1 kilowatt to compensate to reduce the import of the utility power, as you can see here, to cut down to shave the peak. And when there is, like, for example, less than 5 kilowatt, when there is 4 kilowatt actual load needs, which is less than 5 kilowatt, and in this case, if the battery if the battery SOC is at a low level, we will import one more power from the grid to charge the batteries here. So to get the battery ready for the next peak demand time. And we also provide you 2 peak shaving time, so you can set a 2 peak shaving time modes uh, through our monitoring system. So in this case, we can use the peak shaving time like to avoid the peak demand charges. Okay, let's move to the next working mode, AC charge. So we have talked about the peak demand charges and the fixed charges, different billing policies in different countries. And I think this is the most common billing policies is the time of use charge. So the uh, electricity company will charge you differently during one day. For example, as I mentioned in the beginning of the working modes sections, the high price at the daytime and low price at after midnight. So to deal with it, we have the AC charge function. As you can see here, when we enable the AC charge function, we will use the utility grid firstly, and solar, and then batteries. So during AC charge time, for example, during the night, when the electricity price is lower, we can enable the AC charge function to charge our batteries. And then during the daytime, we can change it to the self-consumption mode with the least import of utility powers to save our bills when the electricity bill is higher in the daytime. Okay, next is the PV charge mode. It is like similar to the battery backup mode. It will also use the solar energy to charge the battery first. The discharge of the battery is in the least priorities to take the loads. So we use the solar and the utility to supply energy to the load first, and it is more flexible than the battery backup mode because you can set three different PV charge time here. So as you if you remember that the battery backup mode is function 24 hours every day. So using this function, we can also like achieve a similar function of the battery backup function, but with a more flexible choice with three PV charge time. And it is typically used like in scenarios where user can take advantage of their sufficient solar powers to charge their batteries. And during this period, you have the options to employ the PV to charge the battery first and ensure it's ready for use whenever needed. So we have talked about all the modes we have talked about above is when to charge the batteries, and also we have one mode like you can set to force discharge the batteries. Also times, also three discharge time. So after enable the force discharge function, the battery will prioritize the discharging its power to supply loads or sell to the grid. Ensure you efficient utilization of the stored energy resources. Allow our customer to optimize energy utilizations by like directing the excess energy to where it needed the most. Okay, so that's all for the working modes and all for the pro introduction of GN2. So next, let's move to the let's go through a summary. So, firstly is the core advantages of Gen2. It's a compact, smart, and reliable product. A smart single-phase hybrid inverter for modern homes, combining efficiency, safety, and intelligent control. We have a wide battery compatibilities and smart control. Uh, for example, here we have different compatible batteries. Also, we support RS485 and BMS communications with the batteries, and we can work in different scenarios: grid tied, off-grid, and hybrid modes. We have eight different period time of use. And the second, we have equipped with high efficiency and a dual MPPT design with high conversion efficiencies and better thermal performance, and dual MPPT inputs for flexible PV array setup. Third, scalable systems and intelligent working modes. We support up to 10 units in parallel for flexible system expansion for both single-phase and three-phase systems, and multiple operation modes, for example, self-consumption, time of use, backup, off-grid, etc., and AI-optimized modes, scheduling automatically adjust to energy flow based on weather and pricing, and to maximizing the savings and efficiency. Also, the last one is a UPS level fast switching and smart remote operation. Now our switching time is less than 7 milliseconds for uninterrupted power supply, the UPS port, and a remote monitoring for remote upgrades and the troubleshooting. And for the conclusion and outlook, firstly is the market opportunities for GN2, because the demand of the hybrid inverter is like surging across Europe and driven by the high electricity prices, the lower feed-in tariffs, and growing interest in the energy independence. So our GN series addresses key user needs, for example, maximize the self consumption to cut down the energy bills, less than 7 milliseconds UPS level backup during outreach, AI-powered time of use scheduling for dynamic savings, and ready for VPP and energy community integrations, fast ROI through smart energy use and easy installations, and fully certificate in for the EU markets. And in our future, we will like keep developing, for example, the virtual power plants and the smart energy management platforms. And our R&D team will continue to upgrade our products to enhance the system efficiency, safety, and adaptabilities for complex grid environments. Okay. Thanks all for today to join our here in today's trainings. So firstly, I will review the questions in the chat group, and if you have any other questions, you can also I will turn on the mic later, and you can ask them. You can turn on your mic or send it in the chat group as well. Also, you are welcome to send any, for example, any suggestion about today's training and all the the training topics in the future. Okay, so the first question is the LuxPower Gen2 can run without battery? Yes, we can run the whole system without batteries as the traditional string inverters, just connecting the PV and the utility. We can act as a string inverters. As a matter of fact, you can just disable there is an option in the app or web or on the LCD. You can just choose no battery and you can run without the batteries. Okay, and the second question is Tina is from Tina. So it is what are the conditions for the expansion of your warranty to 10 years? So about these questions, you can I think it's better for you to ask your contact sales from Lux Powers. For example, we have a if you purchase our whole systems, for example, the inverters with the batteries, we can assure you we can extend your warranty like higher than 5 years. Okay, another question is, may I know the power for the smart load? So the output power for the smart load is also 6 kilowatts, but you should remember that the maximum output of the whole inverter or for one inverter is 6 kilowatt combined. So if you have, for example, already 3 kilowatt output on the UPS port, so you can only have another 3 kilowatts output on the smart load port. Okay, and the other we have a suggestion about the training on our next train about we need to do some like videos of connections of inverters and batteries. Okay, so as a matter of fact, we will also have a installation training in like coming, for example, next month. So and I will take your suggestion into considerations. For example, the next time we will play short videos of product introduction videos or simple installation videos as well. Thanks for your advice. Okay, and please send the recording of this meeting. Okay, we will upload it to. Okay, so I can see there is still many questions, and now I okay. So you can unmute yourself. If you have any questions, you can also turn on your mic and just ask me directly. So now I will review the questions. How can I pull data from inverter to home assistant? Sorry, I'm not fully understand your questions, but based on my
Hello,
understandings, we have the
hello,
uh,
sir.
if you have the if you have logged on to our
Hello.
website, monitoring website, you can pull the running data of the inverters.
Hello, is it? Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir. I want to actually ask a question about the renewable energy. Because all the world tend to move from the renewable energy to the bulk power system. So my question is that what is the impact of the renewable energy on the traditional system?
Renewable energy.
Yes, sir.
So do you mean like using the generator?
Sir, actually my question is that all the people want to shift from the traditional system to the renewable energy. So my question is that what is the impact of the renewable energy on the bulk power system?
Oh, sorry, what system?
Wow,
Yeah,
Chinese. Hello,
yeah, yeah.
sir. My question actually is that all the people want to turn from the traditional system to the renewable energy.
Oh,
So
oh.
what is the impact of the renewable energy on the traditional system,
Okay.
like a generation system, synchronous generator?
So for example, for GN2, we have for example, we can connect the utility. We can connect it to the on-grid, and also we can
Yes, sir.
connect to the generator. So we have a protection is like for example, our over voltage or over current protection. So
Yes, sir.
normally it won't infect any like it won't influence your like already on-site systems. It just like puts more power, more renewable powers to your on-site systems.
Zoom. Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're welcome. Okay, so I'll keep reviewing the questions on the chat group. I can see there is a lot of uh chat here. Handle the power. What's the conditions in extension videos? These channels can I put data on the system itself? We need to do a full program in real time so that we can show client full home automation and power consumptions. So yeah, actually, we also have like for example a graph of the real time running data in our website, so you can just show your customer our monitoring system. It will show for example the daily PV production and daily like your power consumptions and the input power from the grid, etc. And you can like there is different choices of, for example, the powers, the energy, all kinds of graphs on our monitoring systems. And another question is need training of inverter parameters setting. Oh, understand. This training is mostly for the product introduction. So, and in our following trainings, we will bring you, for example, the installations of the inverter, how to install it on site, and how to do some basic settings. Also, we will give you for example, introduction about our monitoring system. So teach you how to like use our monitoring systems as well. So during these trainings, you are able to like know how to set up the systems. And another question is, can I view both streams simultaneously to see each PV generation per stream? Yes, we have we have independent because we have independent MPPT, so you can check the different production of each stream. And can this inverter run on single source if utility and batteries is not available? Yes. So for example, if you only have a PV input or a battery input or a AC input, it can also supply it also can supply the loads. If for example the voltage of the PV is suitable for the inverter startup, for example, is larger than 100 voltage, then it can function normally. Okay, so that's all for the questions in the chat. And if you have any more questions, you can just turn on your mic and ask me directly. Also, if you have any questions, like for example, any suggestion about today's trainings or any topics you want to be trained in the next following trainings, you can also send them or like turn on your mic. Okay, so that's all for today's training. So if you still have any questions, you can also send the emails to our to our support emails as well. Uh, Thanks for your participate in today's trainings and see you next time. Bye bye.